Do we have minutes from last month? Do we have a motion?
I move that the minutes be adopted.
All in favor? Okay. Work plan changes, are there any?
No work plan changes.
All right, we move the... Oh, public speakers. We have a public speaker. Okay, let's go. Murray?
Yeah, I get this public speaking, and it's not about what I'm supposed to be talking about. It's about why we're so late. What in the culture gives everybody the right to stand up there in those previous meetings and recite everything that's already in the agenda? This is not an aggrandizement place where you get to talk. This is a business meeting. If you haven't read the information before you got here, then read it. When you get here, it's a time to ask pertinent questions and not recite what should have been read before. The only questions asked of value today were asked by people who read the information before they got here. You don't have to repeat what's in the book. You have to be prepared to answer questions from people. I don't have an opportunity to ask these people a question. They preclude me from asking a question and getting a response. There's a number of things Bridges and Tunnels does that are, I can't think of a polite word to say it, but I can't get a meeting with them. They're going to do it the way they did it for the last 50 years. World's changed in the last 10 years. It's changed in the last year. How do I get a meeting with them? They make the same mistakes over and over and over, and they get away with it because nobody questions it. Well, I question some of the things they do as being a waste of our money, a waste of resources, a waste of time, and they'll ignore me and do everything right now rather than listen to what I'm saying. You can see right in front of you, I'm being ignored. Well, the days by being ignored are over. The judge in New Jersey, when the New Jersey Turnpike hauled me into court with a restraining order, I passed. I did my explanation. The problem is not in the technology. The problem is in the way they listen.
Excuse me, Murray, can you sum up, please?
I'm finished.
Thank you.
I get another 2 minutes at the next meeting.
Okay. All right, Jim?
Okay, on page 15 and 40, we have the report on operations and safety. If the committee members have any questions, we'd be glad to answer them.
Any questions on operations and safety? The reports are in the packet?
No, sir.
Okay. Moving along?
Moving along to page 45, we'll give the customer environmental survey. Jim Fortunato.
Bridge and Tunnel Stripe, good afternoon. Bridges and Tunnel Stripe, 68,462 linear feet of roadway in the second quarter 2011, and we repaired 1,798 potholes in the second quarter. Bridges and Tunnels met its Easy Pass toll lane availability goal in the second quarter 2011. That completes our report.
Okay. If there are no questions, we'd like to move on to the financial report, the Easy Pass performance reports. Don Spiro.
The Easy Pass performance report, the June and July reports begin on page 53. For both months, our market share was up significantly from the year before, 3.6%, 3.2% respectively. Almost 15,000 Easy Pass accounts were open in June, more than 18,000 in July. More than 3,800 on-the-go accounts were opened in June and more than 6,300 in July, which is more than 35% of the total. And the increase in July reflects the tags being sold in the lanes of the Henry Hudson that we started at the end of June, and that's been very successful. We've sold more than 5,000 tags in the Henry Hudson lanes since that initiative started. If there's no questions on the Easy Pass report, I'll move on to the financial reports.
Just one comment. I've noticed that we're finally doing something bilingually.
Yes, we are.
Which I know the committee has been concerned about for some time, and hopefully this will help address some of the problems that we're having in certain parts of the city.
That's right.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Operationally, the high-speed toll lanes that are functioning as planned and no glitches on the Henry Hudson.
The gateless toll lanes.
Yes.
Operationally, they're working fine. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. I'll move on to the financial reports, which will begin on page 63. Again, June and July are in the report. I'm just going to focus on the July report. Toll revenue for the month was up against the mid-year forecast. We're now comparing to the mid-year as opposed to the adopted budget. Revenue was 1.8 higher than planned due to slightly higher traffic. Expenses were about $7 million lower than the mid-year forecast in July. That's primarily due to lower overtime, which was 28% lower in July, and also the timing of maintenance and other operating expenses and the timing of materials and supplies. Our support to mass transit is more than $561 million through July. That's almost $24 million, or 4.8% better than planned. There's no more questions. If there's no questions on the financial report.
Any questions on the financial report? No.
Okay. Just very quickly, we have our mid-year forecast allocation, which is in the book. If there's any questions, that begins on page 87. If there's any questions about that, I can answer them. It basically shows our revenue expenses by month for the year, actual through May, and the new budget beginning in June. And our 2011 preliminary budget, as you know, was presented to the board last July, in July. And if there's any questions about that, I'd be happy to answer them. That concludes my reports.
If there are no questions, we'll move on to the capital program project status report. Joe Keen.
Good afternoon. The report on the capital program can be found on page 95 of the book. During July and August, B&T made 15 commitments with a total dollar value of approximately $179 million. That brings our year-to-date dollar value of commitments to approximately $277 million. This compares to a planned year-to-date amount of 80 commitments and a planned year-to-date dollar figure of $548 million. The most significant commitments made in this period were the construction project for the replacement of the Queens Approach of the Bronx-Whitestone Bridge at $114 million, and a $50 million steel repair and painting project at the Throgs Neck Bridge. For completions, we are on target to meet our 2011 completion goal. Year to date, we have completed $77 million out of a planned $84 million in project completions. And closeouts, year to date, we have made closeouts of $256 million. There are a number of schedule adjustments listed on the bottom of the page for the remaining commitments for this year. And overall, we expect to commit virtually all of the planned tasks for this year's commitment plan. Due to the extremely favorable bid climate, the dollar value of these commitments will likely be significantly below the programmed amounts, resulting in some good news savings to our capital program. We continue to try to take advantage of the favorable bid climate by expediting projects to allow for bidding as soon as practical to take advantage of market conditions. Unless there are any questions, that concludes my report.
Say the relationship between the chart on page 47 and the capital plan itself is very interesting, because the depending upon which facilities are under construction has a significant impact on the speed by which our motorists go over the facility. You can see that, number one, in the significant improvement at the Throgs Neck and the significant reduction at the Bronx-Whitestone, because the construction moved from one facility to the other facility. It's a very interesting dichotomy how that works.
Yes, absolutely right. That shows right in that chart.
Yeah. Yep.
If there are no further questions, we'll move on to procurements. Page 107, Tony Kessler.
Good afternoon. There are 7 procurements this month totaling about $69.3 million. There are no non-competitive procurements. There are 5 competitive procurements, the first of which is on pages 113 and 114. It is a purchase contract with CAPS Trafficcom IVHS to furnish and provide electronic toll technology and associated subsystems for the operation of the EasyPass system in the amount of $58 million over a period of 10 years. Please turn back to pages 110 and 111 for item number 2. This is a personal service contract with Elsley Technology Corp to assist B&T on issues related to analyzing and evaluating the impact of existing coding systems on B&T facilities on an as-needed basis in the amount of $550,000 over a duration of 3 years. Item number 3 on page 111 describes a miscellaneous service contract with Intercity Tire and Auto Center, Inc. to provide all labor, material, and equipment necessary for tire repair services for our vehicles in the amount of $15,840 for a period of 3 years. Please turn to page 115. This is a modification under 3 personal service contracts with Environmental Planning and Management, ATC Associates, Inc., and the Louis Berger Group to increase funding in the aggregate amount of $101,000 to provide design, supervision, and air monitoring services of asbestos and incidental lead abatement projects on an as-needed basis. The 5th procurement is on page 116. It is a modification to a public work contract with Conti of New York, LLC, in the amount of $806,122 for additional work under contract BW 9797A, concrete repairs at the Queens Anchorage and rehabilitation of the Bronx and Queens I-bar chambers at the Bronx Whitestone Bridge. If there are no questions, I'll move on to the next section.
Yes.
Do I have a,
Motion to approve. Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you. There are 2 ratifications. On page 118, there is a public work contract awarded to Defoe Corporation for design and build services for the reconstruction of the Harlem River Drive ramp at the Robert F. Kennedy Bridge in the amount of $8,745,000 for an 8-month period. The effective date of this contract was June 30th, 2011. Finally, page 119 summarizes an agreement between B&T and the New York City Department of Parks and Recreation that authorizes B&T to pay a fee to DPR for replacement of trees that will be removed by the contractor in Francis Lewis Park, Queens. Construction work is being performed by the contractor under contract BW 89C, replacement of the Queens approach at the Bronx Whitestone Bridge. The cost to replace the trees is $1,100,500. The agreement with DPR is over a period of 3 years to 6 months. Unless you have any questions, that concludes my report.
Vote on these 2 items. I move that the ratifications be adopted. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
And that ends our report. We're done.
Any questions? Any motions?
Move to adjourn?
All in favor? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you all.